The Titans have wandered the special teams desert for a long time. For years, it's felt like this cartoon ship that's begun to sink. Each leak that's plugged by a finger or a toe has led to another springing forth, and there haven't been enough limbs to keep the vessel afloat. The kicker situation was a roller coaster for years. Punting was recently shaky. Protection and tackling, those have fluctuated and seen some extreme lows, like in 2024. And through most all of it, the Titans have floundered at returner. Two additions in 2025 seem to have already turned this phase of the franchise around, and they've done it shockingly quickly. So let's talk about wide receiver Chimere Dike and special teams coordinator John Bones Fossil. If you're part of the Tennessee faithful, you know just how many years the Titans have shaved off your life with the emotional roller coaster of sports. Or maybe the roller coaster of life is messing with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals. The new year is a blank space for you to write a new story. BetterHelp makes it easier to get started. They are our incredible sponsor for this video. Regardless, if you have a clinical mental health issue like depression or anxiety, or if you're just a human going through a hard time, therapy can give you the tools you need to approach your life in a very different way. That's where our sponsor, BetterHelp, comes into play. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and more accessible. And this is an important mission because finding a therapist can be really hard, especially when you're limited to the options in your area. Easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost if it's not the right fit. BetterHelp's platform makes finding a therapist easier because it's online and remote. BetterHelp can match you to a professional therapist in as little as a few days. Plus, with our link, you get 10% off your first month. Start fresh any day of the year with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/ATOZ sports and get 10% off your first month of therapy with BetterHelp. Who was the last truly reliable returner in Tennessee? Or more than that, who was the last one that had real juice? The expectation has been beaten down beyond looking for real talent instead of merely searching for serviceable at the position. Thinking back, there was journeyman Khalif Raymond in 2019 and 2020. That was a brief bright spot. And then you go all the way back to Mark Mariani in 2010 and 2011. Needless to say, there's not a rich tapestry of recent Titans returners to choose from. But now, Chimere Dike already seems to be the answer to their prayers just 2 games into the season. Is that too early to crown him a dude yet? Maybe, but it isn't stopping his coaches from doing it anyways. We spoke to special teams coordinator John Fossil this week, and he said, quote, "He has been excellent." I'm trying to think of a way to say it. There's still obviously a lot of things to learn from, but 2 games in, the decision-making, the ball handling, big kick returns, a big punt return that got called back. I was hopeful for good decision-making, first downs on punt returns, good drive starts and kick returns, but he's provided 2 big sparks in the return game. And I'm not surprised, but for a young guy to have that poise has been really good, end quote. Now, through 2 starts, here are some stats. He's been both the punt and kick returner. He's decided to return 12 balls in these 2 games, 3 punts for 49 yards, averaging 16.3 yards return, and 9 kicks for 227 yards, good for 25.2 yards on average. On kick return duties, his long so far was that big fat 71-yard return in week 1 at Denver right before half that got them in position to get a last-second field goal. And then, of course, in week 2, he had a punt return touchdown that was called back due to an inconsequential illegal block behind the play. It would have, by the way, been this franchise's first punt return touchdown since 2012. Now, as frustrating as it is to get that close to ending such a brutal streak, the way Dike's playing right now makes it seem like an inevitability for him as long as he stays healthy. His coordinator, John Fossil, also praised him on Tuesday this week for the way he handled a new trend on kickoffs in the Rams game. Quote, "And credit to the Rams, they hit some great dirty ball kickoffs, which are going to become a thing. And there's not many people at all that could handle those kicks, even if I had 2 or 3 or 4 returners back there. Like, those are tough balls." So his poise was very good, and all this stuff is really good learning for him. But we told the guys in the meeting room Monday, we got one. We got one. What a relief for this franchise. What a credit to Brian Callahan and John Fossil. And what a white-hot start for Dike to begin his NFL career. Now, part of what makes this turn of events so surprising is the Titans' miserable history with this position, of course. But the other part of it is just how uncertain we were about the handling of this role in training camp just a month ago. I was openly questioning Callahan and Fossil's process on this and was preparing to have to be very critical of what I thought could have been a bungled competition back in August. I wrote about it. I talked about it. DK just didn't see the field much as a returner at all during training camp. And what we saw in the preseason games where you'd think he'd get some run made it seem like he wouldn't begin the year as a starter. Fossil himself told me in the middle of the month in a press conference when I asked him whether he'd be comfortable with Chimere Dike being the week 1 returner that he probably wouldn't be comfortable with that yet. 2 weeks later, cut down day came and they named him the starter at both return spots. And the pressure from there was on DK to deliver. And now I'm here eating my words, I guess, because deliver is all he's done. In fairness, Fossil told me this week that even the coaching staff, they didn't see this smooth of a start coming for the rookie. One last quote. No, I can't say that we did in practices or even preseason scrimmages or preseason games because we didn't have the opportunities. So a little bit was projection, to be honest, for sure. Like you could see the ball skills, you could see the tracking, you could see the poise, you can tell decision making. When the bullets are live, it's kind of hard to know exactly what a guy is going to do. So to say, oh yeah, for sure, is not, I can't say that at all. But through 2 weeks of a lot of opportunities and a lot of different things that have been kicked at him, I think he's handled it really good. And I don't see any reason why that's going to be any different than what's going to happen in the future. I think it's just going to get better and better and better. And he probably has exceeded my expectations through 2 weeks for sure. End quote. Here's to a long, healthy tenure as a returner for the Titans' latest rookie hit, because right now he's the face of a completely revitalized unit on special teams. Now, I guess the other 2 phases of the game just need to get their acts together. For A to Z Sports Nashville, I'm Easton Freeze.